Hey everyone, this is Ms. Fisher, and this is a video to help you with the selection sort worksheet. So we talked about how selection sort is one example of a sorting algorithm. So what we're going to do here is trace the code given this array. So I'm going to go ahead and do this in Jamboard. So let's copy and paste it because you will be doing it on paper. And okay. So we're going to go ahead and show the contents of the list after passes 1 through 5. There are 6 elements. However, if you take a look at the outer loop, it actually begins at 0, and it's going to go until it's less than nums.length minus 1. So that means that nums.length minus 1, in this case, is 5. Right? So I is going to iterate from 0 through 4. Okay, so we have 0 and then all the way to 4. Okay, so 0 through 4. Now, J is the inner loop, and it's actually going to iterate from index I plus 1, and it's going to go to the end of the list. So the first time that you run this little bit of code here, okay, you're going to start at J gets 1. Originally, min is I, so min is 0. And the question here is nums j less than nums min? And if it is, then you're going to replace min with j. So let's take a look at the contents themselves. We've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here, at this point, min is equal to 0. So we've got list min is equal to 3, right? The value at index 0. So let's go ahead and compare the value at index j, which is index 1, which is 2. Is 2 less than 3? That is true. So we're going to go ahead and replace min with j. So now, the next time I iterate, min will actually be j, which is 1. So I will remain at 0. We have to finish executing the inner loop. So I will now get 2, min is 1. And now I'm going to go ahead and compare nums j. So now j is 2. So let's go ahead and compare 0 with 2. And in this case, 0 is less than 2. That's true. So what's going to happen? My min, I'll actually go ahead and store it here, was originally 0, and then it became 1, and now it's going to become 2. Because in this list so far, 0 is the smallest value. So that is at index 2. So now my index at min is 2. I will remain at 0. J is now 3. We're going to compare nums j, which is 8. Is it 8? Is 8 less than nums 2, which is 0? Nope. I'm going to hit a false. So I've made 3 comparisons so far. Now, j will get 4. The min is still 2. Is the value at index j, which is 7, less than 0? Nope, it's false. And then we've got one more, 0, 5, and then the min is still 2, index 2. So therefore, is 6 less than 0? Nope. So we have finally finished executing that inner loop, and we are now going to compare min and I. Min is 2, I is still 0, and those are not equal. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up swapping, okay? So here, this was after, this is at after passes 1. So we're going to swap. This was I gets 0. I get 1. I get 2. I get 3. I get 4. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and swap 3 and 0. So this is going to be 0, 3, and then nothing else changes. All right. Let me go ahead and do one more I value, okay? So now let's just go ahead and move up here, and I'm going to go ahead and snip this so it's all in one place. Let's just go ahead and put this over here, and let's just pretend that we are just moving right along here. And there you go. Okay. So, okay. Now, my I value is now 1. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in 1, 1, 1, 1. This is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5. I can go a little faster now. Originally, my min is 1. Okay, here we go. My min is originally 1. I'm going to go ahead and compare. 0 is in its place. We're not going to mess with 0 anymore. So let's go ahead and take a look at 2. And we're gonna compare J, which is index 2, which is 3. Is 3 less than 2? No, it's not, right? Okay, that's false. And you can see that 2 is the smallest number, so we're just gonna, min will remain index 1. 8 is less than 2 is false. 7 is less than 2 is false. And 6 less than 2 is false. So what happens? Well, min is 1, I is 1. So min not equal I is false. So we're not going to do any swapping here because 2 ended up being just the minimum value, like in the list. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this list again. Nothing was swapped. But now we're going to do I get 2. So you're going to compare 2 with 3, 2 with 4, 2 with 5. And then you're going to see that if you compare 3 with all the other numbers, 3 is the smallest number, and so that's going to remain the same. But you need to finish tracing down here on the rest of the worksheet. But at this point, you're going to compare 8 with 7. 7 is less than 8, so that's going to be the min index 4. And then 6 is actually less than 7, so min will actually end up having the value of 5. And obviously 5 is not equal to the value of I, which at that point will be 3. So you would have to swap those and so forth. Okay, so go ahead and finish up that, and let's go on to the back. So on the back, I'm going to let you finish tracing the rest of the code in the table, but I'm going to help you get started with the second side. We can maybe do the first 2 or 3 together, and then we'll take a look at the questions at the bottom. All right, so we are going to continue using selection sort, but now we've done that hard code tracing. At this point, you should have a pretty good feel of how selection sort works. After the first pass, in other words, after you execute the outer loop when I was equal to 0, right? I was equal to 0. And after you went through, what 2 elements were swapped? Well, let's take a look here. If you look and examine, 9 is less than 20. When J gets 2, min actually is assigned to 7. Then you're going to compare 7, ooh, and then 6 is less than 7, so min is going to have 7, the index 7. And then, ooh, 2 is less than 6, and so then min is going to get 8, and there's no other numbers. 8 is not equal to 0, and so therefore we will swap these 2 numbers. So what 2 elements are swapped? 9 and 2. We're going to go ahead and swap them. And all the other numbers will remain in their place, waiting to be examined again. One thing I did want to mention, you may be asked, like say on a multiple choice question, like how many comparisons were made total in the selection sort. So for example, for this particular array, you can see when I get 0, we made 5. So how many comparisons? Let's do it for this one. When I get 0, we made 5 comparisons, right? When I get 1, we made 4. When I get 2, we made 3. I get 3, we made 2, and then I get 4, right? Because I iterates between 0 and 4 inclusive, we made 1. So how many comparisons were made total? There were 9 plus 3 is 12, 14, 15. 15 comparisons total, okay? No matter what, right? So that is the thing about the selection sort, is no matter what the contents are, you are going to execute this code here, this comparison, no matter what, okay? So let's go back here. And we made here, you can see we compared 0 with 10 other numbers. So here we made 10 comparisons. Okay. And then what we're going to do is the second pass 2 is good to go, right? So after I get 0 and we executed, we find the minimum number. We're not going to touch it anymore. And now we're going to compare 20. 7 is smaller, so min is going to get 7. 6 is smaller, so then min is 7. So originally min was 2, right? Actually, originally it was 1, and then it became 2, and then 7, and there's no other smaller number. 6 is the minimum value, and so therefore 20 and 6 will swap. So we've got 2, we've got 6, 20 goes where 6 was, and all the other numbers will remain the same. Okay? And in this case, how many comparisons were made? There were actually 9 of them. Okay? And you'll see that as you fill it out, you're going to make 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus da-da-da-da-da plus 2 plus 1 comparisons, okay? Which is a lot. And so at the bottom of the worksheet, after n iterations, how many elements are sorted? Well, after 1 iteration, 1 element was sorted. After 2 iterations, 2 elements are sorted. So after n elements were sorted, right? And they were located at the beginning or the left-hand side of the array. And this is a really important question, number 8. Would this loop iterate fewer times if your array was almost sorted? Would it? Well, let's take a look at the source code here. Here's the outer loop, and here's the inner loop. We are looking for whether the nums j is less than nums min. So whether we're dealing with an already sorted array or one that is very unsorted, you are going to make these comparisons, right? You are going to execute this outer loop and then also execute the inner loop. Now, based on whether this condition is true, this line of code may or may not execute. And based on this condition, these lines of code, you may or may not do the swapping, but you will iterate a certain number of times, no matter what the contents are. And that is considered a disadvantage of selection sort. Okay. So hopefully that helped. I know there was another problem, so go ahead and ignore. We're not going to be able to get into big O notation here. So that is it, and let me know if you have any other questions. All right, thanks for listening. Bye.